Welcome back to another tutorial. In today's video, I'll be showing you guys how to make this pocket design that you're seeing on your screen right now. It's going to be a step-by-step video, so smash the like button. Just in case you want to join our Telegram classes, these are some of the styles that we already did. We did a safari suit, a kaftan suit, a waistcoat, several like that. But just in case you want to join, a link will be in the description below. So let's get into the video. The first thing I'm going to do now is to cut a piece of fabric that I'll be using for my pocket, which is the main pocket, not the cover, right? This is the piece of fabric I'll be using, and at the back, I already interfaced the back side. I had some interfacing to use. I'm using a ST for this particular design that we're making. So the height that I cut for the fabric is 9 inches, right? 9 inches, and the width I cut is 8 inches. So I want to give you guys the understanding of the calculation. The total wideness of the pocket is going to be at 6.5 inches. That's the total wideness of the pocket. It's going to be at 6.5 inches. And the total height of the pocket is going to be at 7 inches. This actually depends on your own choice. If you want it to be longer or wider, just add your inches. So the next thing I will be doing on this fabric now is I will be folding the sides in order to get my accurate measurement, which is going to be 6.5 inches by 7 inches, right? 6.5 inches wideness and 7 inches height in total. So now all you have to do now is just to fold each of the sides. This side, I'm going to fold the side here. Just take your time. The reason why I use an ST is because when you use an ST to, I use an ST when I'm making suits, right? The reason is that when you use an ST in both fabric and you join them together, it's going to simply glue perfectly. Like it's going to glue to one another. You can see what I'm having in the front. You can see that. That's the reason why you can see that it is very, very glued together, because there's ST in both fabric that I'm facing one another. You can see that. So the next thing I will be doing now is to get my exact wideness, which is 6.5. So from this side, I'm going to simply fold. Just use your hand to control that, just like half of an inch, right? To get my exact pocket wideness. I'm just going to iron that down. You can see that. I'll just iron that down. You can see what I have. So now when I measure it, you can see I have 6.5 inches for my wideness, for the pocket wideness. And now to get the height, all you have to do is just to do the same thing. So this is not going to be like a pocket in which we usually fold one upper part and leave the other one. You're going to fold the both sides. So I want you guys to pay attention, just in case you are yet to smash the like button on this video. God damn it, why can't you just smash the like button? You should have smashed the like button, eh? So I'm just going to iron this place. You can see at this corner right here, I'm going to show you guys some trick that you can use. You can see that the fabric is the fabric is showing from the front part. I'm going to show you guys something you can do on that. So now from this down part, in order to get my 7 inches, I'm just going to simply fold that one also. So now this is what I'll be having. You can see those edges, right? I'm just going to fold them inside so that it's not going to affect my front side. You can see that. So after that is done, the next thing we want to do is the opening of the pocket itself. The opening is going to be at a total of 6 inches. You can see that 6 inches. That's from one side to the other side. From that side to this side, just bend your tape in order to get that side measurement. 6 inches, make sure your 6 inches is accurate. So I'm going to mark this place. I'm going to mark this place also. You can see that. So after that is done, I'm going to simply fold. You can see from that side, that place in which I mark, I'm going to fold it. And this place also, I'm going to fold it. And I'm just going to simply iron it. We don't really need to iron that part, just leave it just like that. So the next thing we are going to do now is to cut our overlap, which is our overlap. You can see that. So I cut a piece of fabric for this one. This is just an SS fabric, so it is at 8 inches. And this side is at 6.5 inches. I'm still going to trim that part off. The total wideness of the pocket of the overlap is going to be 2 inches. But for the sewing allowance, I'll be cutting 2 3/4. So now I'm going to fold this backward. I'm going to fold this backward. You can see that. After folding this backward, just take your time, make sure it is straight. You can see that. So now you know our opening of the pocket is 6 inches. So now what we're going to be sewing on the overlap is going to be 6.5 inches. There is a reason for that. It's going to be 6.5 inches so that we're going to hide our sewing inside of the 0.5 inches that we added to the sewing allowance. So I'll be showing you guys what that's going to look like at the end. So here I'm just going to cut this SS. I actually cut the fabric in SS though. So I'm just going to cut out the SS, which is going to be 7 inches. I'm going to cut it at 7 inches. Okay, so when I cut this at 7 inches, so I'll be stitching 1/4 inch from both sides. I'll stitch 1/4 inch from both sides in order to give me the total 6.5 inches. You can see that 1/4 inch. So let me stitch that and show you guys what the result is going to look like. So we can simply turn it to the front, and I will still be cutting out my exact flap measurement. So now you can see that I'm having 6.5 inches, and I'm just going to trim out this excess from the side. You can see that. I'll trim out excess from the side, and after trimming the excess, I'm going to turn it to the front. You can see that. Pinpoint each of those edges. It is very important. Make sure you pinpoint those edges in order to have a sharp edge. And now, in order to have a good ironing, right, from the inside, I'm going to open the stitch area. I'm going to open that stitch area from the inside. You can see. I'll simply open that stitch area. Take your time and make sure that place is opened very well. You can see that. Just open it up all the way to the end part so that you're going to have a very smooth folding. You can see that, and you're going to do the same thing on this one also. So after, you can see what I'm having, how flat that is. So now, in order to cut my exact flap measurement, it's going to be at 2 3/4. So I'm going to mark 2 3/4 at this place. Depending on what you want, if you want it bigger than that, you can simply go for that. But I want 2 3/4. The total after stitching is going to be at 2 inches. You can see that. 2 3/4 here, 2 3/4 at this place, and I'm just going to connect that together. You can see that. Just connect it together, and I will just cut it out. I'm just going to cut it out. So now we're going to have like our exact flap measurements. I just cut it in an SS. Doesn't really matter if you cut the exact same sizing which you need. You can see how flat what we're having is. So here I'm going to cut this out also. I'm just going to cut that out. You can see that. After cutting that out, the next thing we are going to do now is from the inside, right? You're going to turn it to that where your this thing is. From that place, I'm going to run a stitch. Make sure there's an allowance like this overlap at that place. Make sure the flap is longer than the pocket itself, right? And I'm going to run a stitch on that place so we can simply turn it to the front. So after running a stitch, just a tiny stitch, you can see that edge. You can see that the flap is a little bit longer than the pocket itself. You can see that just a little bit. So now all I'm going to do now is simple. I will simply iron this, but now the ironing that I'll be doing is going to be from like the other side. I'm going to push the fabric to on top of the line on top of the flap. Sorry, I said lining. On top of the flap, I'm just going to hold it down. So now after ironing that part, I'm going to simply turn the flap backward. You can see that. So far, if you haven't smashed the like button on this video, you are messing up. I don't know why you don't. All right, so just give this a good ironing. And first and foremost, in case before you want to like, if you want to like sew that that flap area, you would have already sewn that part before you join it to the fabric. Or in case even after joining it, you can still take it to the sewing machine and simply stitch that place, right? You can just go just like this. This is what your pocket is going to look like. You're just going to like stitch that place, stitch it like this, and stitch it so that the stitches are going to like show in the front. So now all you have to do is just to simply, this is what it's going to look like. You can see that this is what your pocket is going to look like, and you're going to cut the second side, which is going to be at this side. You can see that. So your pocket is ready and it's ready to go. So that's about it. All you have to do now is just to stitch it to your fabric. That is all. Your design is ready, and that's all about the tutorial. If you like the video so far, make sure you smash the like button and make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're yet to subscribe. There's another video on the screen on how to do a flap design, so check it out.